So we're at the the newly refurbished hydro, and it's gone through quite an extensive investment and refurbishment. What's kind of happened to it?
Well, it's had a full refurbishment. It's had, we'll start from the operational elements of the building. It's had a whole new heating and ventilation system put in, and that's been supported by a £2 million decarbonisation grant. So where the pool was originally heated by gas, it's now the whole building energy is provided through electricity. It's got air source heat pump, it's got solar panels, it's got the latest technology in terms of heating and ventilation, the pool plant machinery. So the carbon footprint of the building will be reduced by 50%. So it's really energy efficient.
And was that kind of a must-do change then with the current world we live in?
I think so. I mean, obviously Harrogate Borough Council doesn't exist anymore, and all the district councils transferred into North Yorkshire to form a unitary council. But when this refurbishment was planned, it was done by Harrogate Borough Council, and it was consistent with their pledge to reduce carbon emissions. And obviously that pledge has also been adopted by North Yorkshire Council. So it is a must-do, yeah, because obviously it's part of a council ambition to reduce carbon across the public sector in North Yorkshire. And also it makes sense, in terms of cost, although the cost of electricity is significantly more than gas, so it won't have a sizable impact on cost reduction in the short term, but over the long term, as electricity gets cheaper, it should do. And then added to the operational elements of the building, the whole customer experience has changed. So you can see that we have an additional group exercise studio which is dedicated to group cycling, and that's a fully immersive, it's got lots of technology in it to make it an immersive experience for customers, which is fantastic.
And I've just been down to that, and it's kind of truly impressive when you go into quite a dark room, admittedly with some very nice lighting, and then I think it's got twin projectors, isn't it? So you can, am I right in thinking it could take you through different locations?
Yeah, it's called Les Mills Trip. That's the kind of trade name for it. Yeah. And Les Mills is an international brand that provides group exercise solutions, not just group cycling, but also all forms of group exercise. And the Les Mills Trip is an immersive experience with a huge curved screen, and it can immerse you in experiences across different worlds, they call it. So you can go all kinds of different places around the world, or you can even just cycle through the Rocky Mountains or along the beach in California. Fantastic.
Has it got a mode that's about 100 metres long and just takes you to the pub?
Well, of course, we're trying to be a well-being provider, so everything in moderation. Yeah.
But I think it's noticeable right from the car park, isn't it? Because you've got kind of a very different frontage, and I think that's given you more. Am I right in thinking that's given you more space as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So the customer experiences have developed around the 3 group exercises studios we've got now, as opposed to 2 prior to the refurbishment. We've also doubled the size of the gym area as well, and that's the overhang extension that you can see at the front elevation of the building. And that's enabled us to provide more gym equipment, but also a much bigger free weights or functional training area, which obviously really lends itself to what the modern market wants. People now are more after that kind of functional free weights experience, and we've been able to provide that for the customer.
And then from a business point of view, then, are you seeing like a demand? And I've got 2 stepgirls, 2 teenagers, and they've both got gym memberships, and they love going to the gym. And that seems to be a new way of being. In my day, I don't think there was anywhere near the gyms, and they were quite serious, I suppose, in that long time ago when I was their age. Are you seeing quite an age range then that come to you? Yeah,
I mean, what the statistics will tell you, that public leisure facilities do attract a generally a little bit of an older member into public buildings. So we do have a demographic which is of a certain age, which is brilliant, which is fantastic, because particularly in North Yorkshire, similar to the rest of the country, the population is getting older, and the more active you stay into older age, then the fitter and better you will feel, and the less kind of health conditions that you will start experiencing. So that's fantastic, and that's a key objective for us. But the kind of younger demographic coming in are, increasingly attracted to gyms. You know, it's part of their kind of, you know, weekly, monthly expenditure. It's something that young people like to do. It's also part of their kind of social scene as well. So we are getting younger members as well joining us, and the demand for memberships now, even after halfway through the second week of opening, is substantially higher than it was prior to the refurbishment, which is what we were expecting, because we've doubled the size of the gym, we've got more group exercise studios, we've got a bigger group exercise program, we've got a sauna steam offer now, alongside a fantastic wet offer with the swimming pool. So we have had a real surge in demand right across age groups for memberships.
And then just sort of talking through the offering, obviously the pool stayed, well, it's had work done to it, but it stayed in a way much the same. You've said about the gym machines, if you like, in the new space above the kind of the main entrance. You've kind of redeveloped the cafe area as well, haven't you? Which I think is sort of, in the past they were kind of taken out, and now it's good to see it coming back. Because I think parents, for lessons, like to buy a cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah, they absolutely do. So, I mean, it's a really good point, because, you know, this facility is a community facility. So you don't necessarily have to come to a swim. You might be bringing your children to a swimming lesson, and you want a space where you can sit down, get a really nice cup of coffee, get a bite to eat, socialise perhaps with other parents, or even get your laptop out and do some work or look at your social media. So we provide for that, and we've got that lovely cafe area which is set in the reception. It overlooks a swimming pool, so you can watch the activity in the pool, you know, to fulfil that purpose.
And is the offering a fairly healthy offering then, to fit with the health and well-being side of things? It's not going to be chips and cheese, is it, I'm guessing?
No, we're not currently serving chips in the cafe, and that might disappoint some people. So there is generally kind of a healthy offering, and that is certainly where we're going as an organisation. You know, and interestingly, we've tried to adopt a really healthy vending machine offer, which is very difficult, because obviously, you know, vending food needs to have a shelf life, and it's packaged, and invariably that brings an element of processing as well with the food. But we have gone to a healthy vending provider, which is a local company called Live Well Vend, and it's our project with them. We've got them in Ripon as well at our Jack Law Leisure and Wellness Centre. So we're offering a relatively healthy vending offer and a healthy cafe offer, and obviously we've got some great coffee as well.
And in the reception area then, I couldn't quite see what they were. There were 3 other machines. Yeah. Are they book machines, or are they the vending machines that you're talking about? Yeah,
so they're book. You can book and pay on those machines. We've got 3 kiosks, and they're just as you enter in.
Oh, so is that where you actually book in for the
so if
classes?
What we've tried to do is create a customer journey, that's, you know, the experience coming into the centre and booking and paying as kind of friction-free or as easy as possible. So you've got the option to go to reception, but if there's a queue at reception or you don't want to go to reception, you can come into those kiosks and do it automatically through the kiosk. You know, you can book and pay and search for a class and everything else. But equally, we've got an app, the Brimhams Active app, so you can, members or non-members can download that on their phone, and they can transact or book a class and make payments through the app as well.
And people like flexibility as well, don't they? How are you working the memberships? Because you do hear horror stories, don't you, in other gyms where you sign up for a year and they want to make you pay for an entire year. Do you work on a pay-as-you-go, or have you got different kind of plans then that you work to?
Yes, we have. So we've got variable ways of kind of paying, right through from one end where you can just pay for what you use on a daily basis, or right at the other end you can give us a cash payment for a year up front. And at the moment, if you want to choose, I mean, not everybody's got the cash to pay for a year up front, but if you do want to do that, the offer is, we've had the opening offer where you can buy 12 months and get an extra 3 months, a complimentary 3 months. So buy 12, get 15 months. And we also have a monthly direct debit, but there's no contract with that. So you can opt out of that at any time, but also you've got that hassle-free kind of monthly payment that goes in and out, but you can cancel it whenever you like. There's no contract.
And there's obviously work underway, a lot of work underway in Knaresborough, and that's not a refurbishment. That's a completely new health and wellbeing centre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you any sort of thoughts when that might be opening?
Well, we're scheduled to open in November. I haven't got a specific date, but we're looking at November for the opening of that facility. You know, that hasn't experienced the same level of delays as this centre,
Yeah.
and that's partly because it's brand new, and you know what you're getting with a new centre, where with an older centre where you're refurbishing, when the work starts and you start knocking down walls, you start finding lots of things that you didn't know were there that you've got to rectify, which was the case with this facility.
So we can expect to be seeing that in November. And have you any plans with Starbeck?
There's no investment plans at the moment for Starbeck. You know, so that's just business as usual at that site.
Because it is worth saying, I think as an area, we're incredibly well covered with swimming pools. So there's many things people can complain about, but I think access to swimming pools, once we get Knaresborough back online, isn't one of those things, is it, that they can complain about. And not just swimming pools. I know I keep using that because I suppose that's what I'm used to saying, but it is an emphasis now on health and well-being, isn't it? Not just going for a dip. You know, it's to emphasise the whole health and well-being offering, which is the expansion at Knaresborough as well, isn't it, with the rooms. And will that be a gym and sort of similar to, in a way, what you've got here in the Hydro?
Yeah, so the Knaresborough offer is comparable with the offer here, but on a slightly smaller scale, because the footprint of the building is smaller. But it will have a gym. It didn't have a gym before. It will have group exercise facilities. Didn't have those before. It will have a cafe. It didn't have that before. It'll have a sauna steam. Didn't have that before. So all those key features compare with the key features that are here at the Harrogate Leisure and Wellness Centre.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mark. We look forward to seeing Knaresborough.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah.